a lot easier. You don't want to have wasted time. You don't want to have your scout have to hem and haw and think and produce an answer on the spot. You want them to be prepared with an answer. Because in part, especially if you're at a pick and save where you have a stream of customers just going by, you want to get to either the sale or the no as quickly as you possibly can, with being respectful, of course. But you don't want to waste time because it reduces your amount of people you can have contact with. Benefits of the scouts and units, as you probably know, over 70% of what the sale price is goes to the scouts. There's part to the council, part to your pack or troop or unit, and it's a great moneymaker. It allows your boys to go to summer camp, different outings, get uniforms, equipment, all kinds of stuff. Another benefit, which I think is extremely important, because in part, years ago before we started doing this, I personally wasn't really keen on having, fundraisers out there to support my boys. But what I found was with selling popcorn was it basically is them learning how to give a mini presentation. They're actually, every single time they talk to someone, it's a mini presentation to a stranger almost always. It allows them to work on making eye contact with people, to speaking to strangers, to standing up and a lot of times shaking hands with people that congratulate them or thank them. And I think that is fantastic. And I think that's something that is one of the benefits that we don't necessarily tout enough. But it's a sales experience, a presentation experience. And then prizes. There are a lot of prizes. I mean, it's a very, when I think of some of the other fundraisers that I've seen, popcorn has amazing prizes. Our boys in the last few years have sold a lot of popcorn. My two older boys have each won trips to Florida.
Can I do the next slide?
Yeah, not quite. You should go ahead. Actually, we've actually won trips to Disney World, and it's from selling popcorn. I mean, when I think about the impact of selling popcorn on our family, by actually getting out there and selling popcorn, it's been incredible. We went, a few years ago, our family, and then we actually combined 2 trips from last year that my 2 different sons each won. And we took our family and 2 of our friends that were visiting, 2 teenagers from Spain that visited with us. That was from selling popcorn. It was a prize that Pecatonica River is offering. It's amazing. And that, not to mention, we had a number of trips to the Dells and all kinds of, as you know, toys and gadgets and knives and various camping things that you get from prizes. My 2 older boys have both thrown out the first pitch at a Brewers game, which is amazing as well, at the Scout Night. And it's from selling popcorn. So it's amazing. You can go to the next slide. Oh, and did I say last week, that's my son Samson along with Steven on TMJ4 talking about popcorn back on Thursday at the noon show. They actually invited us, and since Samson was the top seller in the Blitz weekend, he was able to participate. So he was on TV. He was pretty excited about it. Actually, when I first mentioned it, he said, "I don't think I'm ready for that." And I said, "Really?" So over the course of the next day or so, I tried to think, how am I going to present this to him that he'll get excited about it? Well, I finally thought, Samson, there's a good chance that if you're on TV, that when we sell this weekend, people will recognize you. And they might actually buy because hey, you were on TV. He says, "I'll do it." So that was what.
So who's the salesman in the family?
Well,
You're saying you sold.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I love it. I actually love every moment of it, even though the guys from my troop here will attest that I was pretty sore the other day. I actually sat on a wooden or a metal folding chair for 8 hours straight, and I'm still limping around because of that. But I love it. Next slide. What should the kids do? Well, basically, they need to make a solid presentation. They need to smile. They need to say thank you. That's what we need them to do. There are other things that we don't need them to do, and I'll mention that, things that we can actually do as parents and leaders. As far as a goal, I think we should set a goal for the sale. I think each boy, and perhaps even the unit, should set up a goal for the sale. I actually, when I'm sitting there for hours on end with one of my boys, we work on, like, what's our goal for the day? Sometimes we say, what's our goal for the hour? And I do a lot of praising, so we do high fives every time we hit 100, and up next 100, we do high five, just to keep encouraging them. We have different goals as far as how they present. Like, one of the best ways to get donations is to, if you're not gonna sell product, say, well, how about a donation to the military? We set up a can, you may have seen on the one of the slides. A lot of people won't buy product, but they'll give you $1 or $2 towards the military donations. So if you have a can to collect those, we had a boy a number of years ago in the pack who sold quite a lot of popcorn, and close to a third of what he brought in was from military donations, because practically every single person that he asked to sell popcorn to that said no, he said, how about a donation to the military? Just like a broken record, how about a donation to the military? And you get them in $1 or $2 or $5 or $20. And it's a great way to get donations, which you can roll up into, as you see on the form, military donation. So you just recorded the proper amount under military donations. Presentation. They need to be polite, respectful, and efficient. As I said, every second that you waste trying to fumble for words, or trying to actually find where the product is, it's just other customers are walking behind the customer you're dealing with. And it's just a waste of time. What happens if they're bored? Have them take a walk. My son, Samson here, it's difficult for him to hold his attention when we're sitting there. And so there have been times where every 15 minutes he'll say, I'm gonna take a walk. And he'll walk down one of the aisles of the store, and then he'll come back. And I'll just sit there waiting for him. And if he's gone for more than a couple minutes, I'll look around and I'll say, come on, Samson, come on back. But let him walk around, have him do jumping jacks. Samson's done hundreds of jumping jacks just to keep him active. Have him eat a snack, take a drink of water. If you can come up with some kind of game, that'd be great. Point out something in the store, wherever you might be. And if push comes to shove, leave. Just leave. I actually was at a store yesterday with my 10-year-old, who's a Boy Scout, who just got back from an outing, was really tired, didn't get much sleep. We were hoping to get 2.5 hours in, and we hit the 2-hour mark, and he was just slumped on the table. He said, I'm just so tired. I said, okay, let's go. Let's just go. You don't have to make it happen if you don't want to. If you're not into it, just leave. All right, next one. What should the adults do? Number one, be organized. Make sure you know where your product is at all times. Know where you are on the sheet. Make sure you record everything, all your sales. One tip I will have for show and sells is that you notice on the form you have name, address, and phone. You don't need to record that for show and sell. It's completely unnecessary. It's a one-time contact with a person. There's no reason to take their name. I write man or woman. That's all I put. And I just do it as a placeholder more than anything. I could put an X there. I could probably do that. The important thing is you write exactly what they bought and how many of each. That's the most important. Guard the products and the money. Record the sales. I don't have my boys record the sales. I do that because I think it's better to keep track of, for me to keep track of the sales. I think if they continue to sell and they get to be teenagers, then maybe they can handle that part of it, but certainly my 8-year-old is not prepared for that. This is for adults. Smile, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't look at your phone all the time and read a book, because buying popcorn or any type of fundraiser from a kid, a lot of times people do that because they want to feel good about themselves. They want to buy it because they want to support the Scouts, and they don't want, well, this is my opinion, and I've gotten this opinion because I've sold for hours and hours and hours, and I've watched people react. And when I'm sitting up straight and I'm smiling at them and I'm actually into it and showing interest in what's going on, they're gonna be more apt to actually come over. So if my son is out there and asking people and I'm just sitting watching it, smiling and nodding my head, they're more apt to, I believe, this is a theory that I think is accurate, they're more likely to come over. And be active. Don't slouch in your chair. Don't act like you're bored, even if you are bored. Make it exciting. Encourage people who say, I'll get you on the way out. You know, that's a real good excuse for not buying, I've found. Again, I'm a little bit cynical here. But you'll see someone will approach and say, I'll get you on the way out. And I usually say, great, thanks a lot. And hopefully they'll actually come back. In part, I know that people use that as a way to just not say no to a kid. A lot of people do not want to say no thank you to a kid. And that's one way that they say no thank you without actually saying no thank you. So I pick up on that and say, great, we're here.